Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Giza Aina binti Muhammad Zakri. Number metric 23 DKM 19F1020. Today I want to explain about lathe machines. So, lathe machine is the one most important machine tools in metal working industry. Lathe is a tool that uses the create object which is has symmetry about an axis rotations. Lathe machine is also known as the center because of two centers between which the job can be held and rotated. And its operation on the principle of rotating work piece and fixed cutting tools. It can be performed various operations such as knurling, cutting, drilling, facing, and deformations. This machine just operate around workpiece, but it can accommodate with the varying workpiece length. And also the work holding method used was the clamping, the works using a chuck or collet for the short workpiece and rotating the lathe center was used in addition for long workpiece. And in addition, the lathe use one wood turning, metal working, metal spinning, thermal sparing, part collaboration, and glass working. Example for objects that can be produced using the lathe include chairs, baseball bats, candlestick, holder, a shaft, bowl, leg. Today, manual and lathe machine is used in the manufacturing industry. Okay, for the lathe machine, it have advantage and also disadvantage. For lathe machine, for the first one is qualified is very high in the case of CNC lathe compared to normal machining lathe. And number two, the flow of production is more, and it requires few operators in the manual lathe. And number three, the machining in the lathe and the CNC lathe was very fast. Due to the CNC lathe, the time to carry out the experiment was very less than of conventional machines. And last, the lead time is really very less. Okay, for the lathe machine, disadvantage is number one is if the maintenance was not good, then the result will be damage of machine part by using not lubrications. Number two, the tool also wears out fastly if the operator is not good to handle the experiments. And number three, due the cutting speed, the order in the experiment will be very high, which impact the health. And lastly, this machine was more expensive than other conventional machines.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nobel Smiti Abu Jalil, class DKM4E, committee 23 DKM 19F1025. Today I would like to talk about safety work procedure about lathe machine. First of all, check workspace and workspace to ensure no slip, no trip hazard are present. Locate and ensure you are familiar with the operation of the on-off starter and e-stop. Ensure all the guards are in the place. Next, check that the job is clamped tight in the chuck. Remove all tools from the bed and slide off the machine. Ensure correct speed for machining process is selected. In addition, remove the chuck key before starting the lathe. Please do not try to lift chucks or faceplate that are too heavy for you. Make sure faulty equipment must not be used. Immediately report suspect machinery. During operation, never leave the lathe running unattended. However, before making adjustment or measurement, please switch off and bring the machine to a complete. Do not attempt to slow or stop the chuck or revolving work by hand. Avoid letting swath build up on the tool or job. Stop the machine and remove it. Make sure always remove the chuck key from the chuck. Do not store tools and parts on the top of the machine. And lastly, switch off the machine and reset all guards to a fully closed position after done operation.
Hi, my name is Surendra and I'm from DKM4A. So So today I'm going to talk about equipment of lathe machine. So first is turning tool, nut, charming tool, thread cutting tool, internal thread cutting tool, facing tool, grooving tool, and forming tool. Last is boring tool.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Ashki Najwa binti Safu Bahri, metric number 23 DKM19 F1024. So I will explain about standard operation procedure in lathe machine. Firstly, we need to prepare a lathe tool bed. The tool bed must be sharp before doing threadings and chamfering. So first, create the tool bed and hold it at proper angle to grind the cutting angle. At the same time, tilt the bottom of the tool bed in towards the wheel and grind 10 degrees side relief or clearance angle on the cutting engage. The cutting engage should be about 5 inches long and should be over about 1/4 the width of the tool bed. While grinding, move tool bed back and forward across the face of grinding wheel. Besides, make sure to not overheat a tool bed. Grind the end cutting angle so that it forms an angle less than 90 degrees with side cutting engage. Check the amount of end relief when the tool bed is in the tool holder. Then hold the top of tool bed at about 45 degrees to the exits of wheel and grind the side about 14 degrees. Last, grind a slight radius on the point of cutting tool, being sure to maintain the same front and side angle. So next we can proceed to threading process. Before we start, I show step on how to turn on lathe machine. First, we need to set the speed about 1/4 of speed used for turning. Make sure to check all the speed that we need to use before cutting the material. Next, setting the gearbox that require pinch threads. After that, we need to take a look at our rotating machine whether it is suitable for the cutting material. Push on the pedal that used to hold the tool bit so that we can adjust the distance between rotating machine and the tool bit. After that, push the main pedal to turn on the lathe machine. We can see our machine rotate counterclockwise with the regular speed. If we want to stop our machine, we just need to step a brake onto the machine. So now, step that we need to do for threading and chamfering process is, firstly, install a 60 degrees threading tool bit and set the height to the lathe center point. Make sure to set it on the right angle. Next, we need to do facing process. This process is supposed to remove metal from the end of a workpiece to produce a flat surface, and it also to cut workpiece according to the length required. It is 60 millimeters. After that, make a hole in the middle of the workpiece by using drilling. Use the upright drill bit and drill just a little to simplify the work that needs to be done after this. Stop the lathe and remove part of a workpiece with a length of 55 millimeters. Place the lathe center point on the workpiece and then start the turning process. It is a process for us to cut the diameters of an unnecessary material. Using a layout solution, cut the area to be threaded. Next, measure 30 mm from the front of the workpiece and mark it. Also measure 5 mm for cutting off. Then start the machine and cutting off the workpiece that we have marked earlier. Cut it until we get diameter 20 mm. Stop the machine back. Next, set the tool bed and place it in a right angle to the thread process. Using a thread gauge, start the machine and cut little bit at front of workpiece before start threading. Using the compound micrometer and feed in 0.02 mm. Turn on the lathe and engage the half nut. It will move automatically and start to cut the workpiece. Next, using a screw pitch gauge, check the thread pitch and make sure it is 1.0 inch. If it's not 1.0, feed the compound in 0.02 inch for the first pace using cutting oil. Continue this process until the tool is within 1.0 inch of the finishing depth. Lastly, chamfer about 2 mm at the end of the thread to protect it from damage. That's all from me. Thank you.
In conclusion, we realized that lathe machine was used decades ago its function was really relevant until nowadays. And from the manual operating until the automatic CNC was built, this machine had contributed largely in the industry manufacturing process. And we having a chance to learn in how to operate this machine was a good experience. Through this workshop, practical learning is improved the understanding and how actually the lathe operate to produce a part of things or objects. And in addition, from the task we learn a lot about lathe machine. This is really useful for our future, and it is us expanding our skill set and learning about new technology, and also for professional fulfillment. And through this task, we gain teamwork and responsibility for us. Lastly, we know how work should prioritize our own safety.